What's going on, everybody? It's Aaron Duncan here with the Necessary Bluntness Sports Talk. You know, I start off every video by saying, "What up, dude?" And here on Necessary Bluntness, I do recap and analysis of the Carolina Panthers in the NFL. So, if you want to stay up to date on everything that's going down, because I'm breaking down the roster in today's video, I'm doing the linebackers. So, if you hadn't caught the whole series, make sure you check that out. But also, hit the subscribe button, because as we lead up into training camp, I will be covering and be on top of everything, because I will be on site at training camp this year. It's going to be a very, very exciting time. So you don't want to miss any of the content and coverage that I'm bringing. Hit the subscribe button down below and the bell icon. And also get a video a thumbs up one time for the one time, because it really helps me out in the algorithm. It only takes about 1 second. It don't cost you a thing. All right. So I appreciate that. But like I do with all position groups, I will be breaking down the depth chart, position outlook, and player to watch. So let's go ahead and get started on that depth chart. And of course, our starting linebackers are going to be Shaq Thompson and Frankie Luvu, backed up by Brandon Smith. And I expect somewhere between Bumper Pool and Grugier Hill. Sorry, that's a mouthful to pronounce. Chandler Wooten and Ace Ely. Now, this combination, I don't know how many we're going to carry per se. I expect us to carry four for the season, maybe 5 if we, depending on how things kind of shake out based on some of the versatility. But I feel pretty solid about this group. So let's move on to the position outlook, because I fully and truly, honestly think that this is the most underrated position group on the team, bar none. Bar none. The Panthers are actually bringing back 2 of the top 3 highest graded run stopper linebackers, according to PFF, last year, in Shaq Thompson and Frankie Luvu. I really think that it's undervalued, just because a lot of people really continue to sleep on Shaq. It just seems like the longer you hang around, people start to try to pick you apart and knock you down, and people really haven't come to grips with the fact that Shaq Thompson is an above average starting linebacker in the league. He even got some votes as a top 10 linebacker for the evaluation from GMs and scouts this year, according to ESPN. Shaq Thompson is a problem. But not only that, Frankie Louisville is underrated from the landscape of outside of Panthers fan base. Not too many people know about him. He had over 111 tackles last year, and 19 were a tackle for loss, which led the NFL. He got some sacks in there as well. This dude pretty much did everything: interceptions, pick sixes, forced fumbles. Frankie Louisville played with his hair on fire last year, like he does every play, and I continue to give him his praises. If he doesn't get the respect he deserves this year, and if he repeats his production, I'm going to make it my personal mission to gas this man up all year, because this dude deserves all recognition that he hasn't been getting, because this guy has better numbers than a lot of the Pro Bowl linebackers from last season. So I will continue to gas Frankie Louisville up and push that agenda. But I do love this combination of Shaq Thompson and Frankie Louisville as phenomenal run stoppers. I don't think there's too many people that can shoot a gap better than Frankie Louisville, which is the reason why he led the league in tackles for a loss. He's quick off the ball. He's high motor. He's very smart and instinctual. I can brag about Frankie Luvu this whole video, but we got other people in this position group to talk about. So second-year player Brandon Smith will also be in the rotation. He'll likely be the first man off the bench in terms of the inside linebacker. The second-year guy out of Penn State, freaky athleticism. We know 6'3", 250, runs that 4.5. I want to see him put some things together, and he's going to be that, like I said, that first guy off the bench, and I expect him to be in the rotation as well, because I think Frankie Louisville will get a little bit of time at edge for every now and then. He won't be full time, but I think he's too quick off the ball to just keep him in one spot, and you need to put him up in the line of scrimmage a few times like we did last year, and he was able to hold it down there as well. So I expect Brandon Smith to be able to rotate in when Frankie Louisville may move up closer to that line of scrimmage. Grugier Hill and Bumper Pool will provide 2 great pieces for special teams. Bumper Pool, obviously from Arkansas, the first-year guy. Yeah, they were asked a little bit of questions, and there was a lot of dialogue about him in the offseason earlier with the rookie camp, of course, and just some things that he's done well. He was very productive in college. Went undrafted, but I think this was a great undrafted free agent pickup for us. I think he can make this team and has a chance to make some contributions on special teams for sure. And like I said, Carolina Hill, special teams ace as well. Back in 2021, he actually led the Texans in tackles, so he's shown some flashes at will. So we good he has some decent depth at that linebacker. I feel pretty good about these guys being able to contribute if their number is called. But who is the player to watch for the linebacker position? Because I'm not talking about the edges and those guys. I'll include them in the defensive line. The player I want to pay attention to and watch is none other than Brandon Smith that we just talked about. I want to see Brandon Smith take a step forward. I'm going to throw a challenge flag on him and challenge him to take that next step. We didn't get much out of him last year because we know what was going on with that coaching staff, but the athleticism is there. I talked about the speed and combination of athleticism at that size and how rare it is. I'm not sure if he's going to slim down or what he's going to do with his body size per se, but last year at times as a rookie, so it makes sense, he looked a little lost at times with play recognition, coverage, and figuring out things in the run. But you also saw the flashes and some of the hard hits in preseason and when he actually got an opportunity to play and make some tackles there. So we see the flashes. I want to see him put together some consistency and push for playing time to the point that he has to be on the field. Like I said, I fully expect him to get in there when Luvu comes up to the edge at times and just be in that rotation. But if you make enough plays in training camp in the preseason, you're going to force their hand to put you on the field. And that's what you want to have. You want to make it to have good problems to the point that you have too many good players that you can't find a way to get them all on the field. And so I want Brandon Smith to take that next step forward. It doesn't matter if you can run a 4.5 at 250 pounds. If you're thinking too much, can't recognize plays, you're slow to diagnose plays, your speed can be neutralized if you're not a fast thinker. Not saying that he doesn't have it in him. It's just the game is moving fast for you as a rookie. So you want it to slow down a little bit going into that next year. One of the reasons why Frankie Luvu is so good because his play recognition, his motor, and he just plays ball. He doesn't think too much. He just plays ball. Don't be a robot. Be a football player. Go out there and let your instincts take over. So that's what I want to see from Brandon Smith. But I want to get you guys' thoughts about who do you think is the player to watch for this position group, and are you finally coming around on Shaq Thompson? Like, are you one of those guys that just don't like Shaq Thompson for some reason, even though other players in the league, the coaches rave about him, scouts and GMs continue to gas him up? Are you on the hate train for Shaq? How do you feel about him? Because he's a Panther lifer now, guys. He earned a ton of my respect. He said he'd rather lose with his boys here than go somewhere else and try to find whatever. So I appreciate Shaq doing what he needs to do to keep this group together. But I want to get you guys' thoughts about Shaq and who is your player to watch for this position. But without further ado, my name is Aaron Duncan with the Necessary Bluntness Sports Talk. Make sure you are subscribed and check out the rest of the series. I'll link it up above for the training camp roster breakdown. And make sure, like I said, you are subscribed so you don't miss any of my coverage. Give the video a thumbs up. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.